Evening, friends. How's everybody doing this evening? Happy Monday to you. Hope you had an amazing start to the week. I know Mondays we always be like, oh, it's Monday already again. But you know what? Monday brings new possibilities for the week, new opportunities. So let's seize the day, seize the week, and I hope you enjoy tonight. I am going to pull us up on my iPad so that I can see comments. I've got my phone backwards, and you know, we know what the thing is going on with comments here at the moment. So let's see if I can find us. I am so glad that you are here. If you are joining us on replay, please hashtag replay. Let me know that you visited, that you've been here, and I can send you a greeting back. We are going to be working on a 16-inch round from Craft Deals. I've got the 1/4-inch one. I prefer these over the thicker ones, but the thicker ones are really good to do trays out of. So for a door hanger, I prefer the thinner ones. And like I said, this is still a good size. Those are the 1/4-inch ones. But for trays, the thicker one might be a better option. I'm going to tilt you down. And as you can see, I have already prepped. I have stained the upper part in dark walnut. You guys know how to stain, you know, all the things. I've used Minwax, water-based stain. I love the stain. It is easy to put on. I use one of these Harbor Freight sponges. I use it 8 times, 4 in each corner on each side. And on the bottom, I put light buttermilk from Decor. We are going to be working with similar or same colors as we did on Sunday, yesterday. And I'm going to tell you how I made that line. Let me put my stain down real quick. We are going to be using the American flag welcome sign. And I know Renee just done that on Sunday, but I just wanted to show you a different take on it, so to speak. I laid my welcome down on the bottom right here and made those 2 marks right here where the straight line is. Took my ruler, made the straight line, taped it off to the bottom, stained the upper part, moved my paint to this side, and then painted the bottom part. Now we need to find out how big we need it right here. So see if you can see. There is a little line right here. You can feel it. And I'm going to measure from the bottom right here to that line. If I can find my ruler. I've been hunting this ruler for I don't know how long. It has been coming up missing. Hey, Bunny, my friend, and Miss Sherry, my friend. You guys are so awesome for hopping on. So I am going to measure. I better lay it this way so I'll get a good measurement. And that is about 5 2/8, so 5 1/4. Yeah, 5 1/4. I was dealing with 8 earlier, and it's 5 1/4. Crazy me. So, and I've already sanded this. I'm probably going to sand it again. 5 1/4 up. Make me a little line up here. And I'm going to make another little line. And another little line over on this side. And then I'm just going to make a line all the way across. And we hope that it is straight. And if it is not, we'll be close, right? I know you can't see that little pencil line, but I've got a pencil line right there. This is going to stay brown. This is going to be our star field. And let's see, Essential Stencils got their little brand on here now on some of the stencils, so it is easy to find. And then it also has a little round on here so that you can line this up. And it fits perfectly on a 16-inch round. So I'm just going to look and see where my line is. I think that will be good. Well, I might have to, let me put the tape on and then we're going to look at it again. I'm just going to use the same piece of tape. This is a piece of frog tape. All right, let's see if we are straight. Yep, my stars are above the line. I might have to turn that for just a second my way so I can see better. You know, I'm visually handicapped here sometimes. Yep, that is good because I'm looking at my tape line and I have the same distance and my stars will be above that. So we are good on that. Then I'm going to double check if my welcome fits in here perfectly. And my welcome does because my tape ends up here. Hold that thought. I've got to pick it up for just a second. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. It was an optical illusion. So for the top part, I am leaving the brown down. I did not stain it brown on the bottom. I only stained it brown from here up. But for this part, I am going to use another Minwax color. This is marine blue, and this is a semi-transparent. And I better put a glove on because I will be wearing it. And my comments are not refreshing today. Hello, Danette, my friend from Alabama. Thank you for being on. And like all creators, this is the marine blue. I would appreciate it if you guys could sprinkle it out. If you would, I'm going to use my stain sponge. If you would just sprinkle this out into Facebook land and comment and hearts and stars and all the good things, because it is difficult to keep that algorithm going. So I appreciate you doing that. And as you can tell, this is not going on as dark blue as or as bright as it looks in the can, because I've got the dark under there, and I am totally okay with that. Because we are going for that more rustic style. And if it is a little bit more brown shown through, I'm okay. I might even sand it back a little bit. And this is stain over stain. This is the brown stain, the dark walnut, and I'm putting the blue over top. And it just gives it a really pretty rustic blue look, and I love it. Making sure I've got this. And I am also going to do our edge. And I found out if I go onto the edge from the painted side, then I don't get much or hardly any paint on the other side, on the other edge. So if I would go this way, I would get more paint on this side. I don't know if that helps you, but it is sure helping me. If I go from this side, it is not as bad on the other side. If you see, there is no paint on the other side. And I think I like that being that dark. If we want it lighter, I'm gonna dry it and see if I want another coat or not. And yes, happy Monday. I appreciate you interacting, the thumbs up, the hearts, and all the things. That's how Facebook's algorithm works, and that's how they push creators out. And I think I am going to do another light coat on here. I don't know yet. I'm going to dry it just a little bit more and see what you guys think. I think I'm going to do one more little coat. What do you guys think? Should we do another coat or leave it? It does look pretty good on camera. I didn't want it to be too dark because of what I'm going to try to do. I might just add a little bit more. It did soak in pretty good. I have something planned for the stars. I changed my mind on what I was originally doing. You ever do that? You're mid-project, or you're looking at something and you're like, ooh, if we do it this way, that'd be even better. So I changed my mind mid-project. Yes, I like that. That is good right there. I don't like that. It is not. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is not populating by itself. I am going to move my phone over a little bit more so you guys could see better, because you're seeing the end of my table and you need to see the project. I reuse my gloves. I reuse pretty much anything I can. Now you're going to hear some banging. I'm going to put my can back up, but I am going to try to pull you guys over a little bit more and see if you guys can see better and not see so much of the end of my table. And this was marine blue from Min Max Stain. And I love my dark walnut. That is one of my favorite dark wood stains. Got a little spot right here. I'm going to try to figure out. I think this is the side I used. a little bit better. I am going to go ahead and throw this away because I done used it 3 times and I don't want to transfer any paint. Yep, until they get a hole. Exactly. Hey, Miss Donna. Stuff costs too much. You're going to have to reuse things. Dry that a little bit more. So just to recap, I stained it brown and that dark walnut from this line up. Then I added light buttermilk decor art paint on the bottom and the blue stain, marine blue on the top, on top of that stain. Now, let me lay this on here. And your rounds sometimes may not be completely perfect. Uh-oh, I lost my little thing. Well, darn it. I still have to I still have to sand the blue. I sanded everything else but the blue. That looks good to me. We are going to use the heritage brick. But I was going to experiment a little bit. I want to create some texture. So we're going to paint it with the heritage brick first. And then we're going to add a little bit of baking soda into the cup and a little bit of that heritage brick, and we're going to use a palette knife and create texture. That's the word I was looking for, texture. And I forgot to lay my stencil brushes out. I'm going to be bold and use one of these 7/8 inch brushes. You all know the drill. Never, ever, ever, never go to your plate, your stencil with that much paint on it. And I can be assured that my red is not going to turn pink because my white is dry, or my light buttermilk. And I am just going to go from the outsides in, down the stencil, that way I should not have any bleed. And I'm trying to hold this down, but when I just lifted my finger, it lifted my stencil. So make sure you hold it back down with the other side of your fingers so that you will not accidentally lift it. Got to be careful with my W right there that I will not get into that W. And we will add gold in here as well. We were going to create a really cool looking effect. I am not too worried about what this first coat looked like, because right now it looks like a hot mess. So I am not worrying about that. This second coat will take care of that. And these are all Deco Art paints that I'm using right now. Deco Art is one of my favorite brands in the acrylic paints. If I cannot find a color in the Deco Art, I will grab a different one. But for the most part, I stick to the Deco Art paints because I've had really good results with them. Right here at the edge, I have to be careful because it has a tendency to lift, but it is at the bottom. Well, I'm going to make it go off anyway. Get a little bit more paint. Make sure you tune in to Essential Stencil at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. I believe Miss Amanda is on, but I've been wrong before. We can go back over this and intensify this and get all the little brush marks out. I'm still holding on to it. And still offloading. And again, if this is not solidly covered, I am okay with that because I want it to look rustic. I want it to look worn, old. I am pressing a little bit harder now because I don't have much paint left on my brush. And I do want that contrast with lighter and darker red tones. But we're going to also add some things to it. I'm just going to put my finger on top of that right there. I had the bristle go all the way under there. When I reload my brush and it is filled, I very lightly go over things. When it is almost to the end, then I press a little bit harder. If your paints do not dry fast, dry your stencil, dry your project in between. Because if you don't dry it, it will pull up paint. And again, thanks for sprinkling out the whimsy. Add a little bit more right here. Let's see what we look like. I'm going to take a peek. We are good. Where that darn little, man, I should have done the welcome. Where that darn little bristle was, it Made a little mess. I'm going to come in with a small brush and fix that. Because I want it all the way to the end. I am going to go around it probably with the gold. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. And right here. And I've got a little bit right here where it missed. And I'm just going to take a little bit of paint and see if I can just freehand that. You know, when you freehand, you got to hold your lips together or stick your tongue out, right? It's a thing. It really is. It's a thing, ladies. It's a thing. I'm going to get me a little bit out of the bottle. I did not link the stencil, but I can go in and link it later. I honestly kind of forgot. I'm going to be straightforward and honest. I forgot. Go ahead and do this too so that we got this covered. Like I said, I am not too worried about that. I am going to do the words first though, because if we're going to do anything raised on here or textured, I don't want the raised part interfere with laying our stencil back down. You guys are quiet tonight. Chat with me, please. What you guys have for supper? Did you eat supper yet? We had salad and I'm gonna go ahead and sand the blue real quick. Sam's has like grilled chicken bites that have a really amazing taste. You can make them in the oven, microwave, or in the frying pan, and I make mine in the frying pan. And oh my word, they taste so good. So I put mine over top of my salad. I started doing this, wiping it back after I sand, because it does leave a lot. This is what we have so far. It's starting to look like a flag. It's starting to. We're getting there. When you lay your stencil back on, double check, make sure that you do not have any paint on anything if you lay it back on here. Let's see if we can line this up so we can put our welcome words on. That looks pretty darn good, close to me. Those welcome words we are going to do in the light buttermilk. And as you know, I always put my coffee filters on there. Well, not always. A lot of times, most of the time. I remember to bring them up. I am just going to use another 7/8 inch brush. Those are the biggest one from Essential Stencil. I normally don't use these. I prefer the smaller ones. I prefer the 1/2 and the 5/8. But these work really well for big openings. So I am going to use it. I've loaded my brush, but I've still got a lot of paint left on there. So I am going to offload some. And we know we have to do 2 coats because we're going to do a light coat for the first time. And then the second coat is going to be the one that will darken everything up. And I am just very lightly going over this. Hardly any pressure on here. Really easy with this big brush. Takes hardly any time at all. I'm going to put my finger down here so I will not go too far down. I'm going to dry it and we're going to go over a second time. Sorry you see all the mess. But that's what a crafter's desk or table looks like. Got holders for the brushes and cups and all kinds of things on the table. Again, put my brush in and load. And we got it loaded up about 1/4. And then we're just going to offload some because we don't need that much on there. And I'm going to start from this side. And you see how much darker it is now? It is even, has even strokes. And when we feel that our paint is running out, we can start pushing a little bit more, but not to the point to where you pushing all your bristles go out, because then you are going to get bleed. That is one other way you can get bleed. If you push it down and your bristles end up under your stencil, that can cause bleed. I am pushing and I need to reload. Watching you create is mesmerizing. Ooh, sour cream pork chops, mashed potatoes, steamed butternut squash. Ooh, that sounds good. I love Brussels sprouts. And on well, on the grill or in the oven. Oh my word, they're so good when they're a little bit brown, crispy. But I had to do something fast because Mondays is my busy day. I got a business coaching meeting at 11, 10 Central, 11 Eastern. Then that lasts normally to about 12:30. Then I eat a quick lunch at 1 o'clock. For 6 weeks, I've got the art journaling for caregivers class. We are on class number 3. So that lasts about an hour and a half. Then I'll come down and do a couple of things, and then I'll come back up here and create with you lovely ladies. And that makes my day. I love chatting with you guys. Alright, I think I'm good. I'm going to grab what little bit of paint is left and do just one more little swoop. I think that's good. It's coming together, folks. It's coming together. Looking pretty good so far. Let's add our stars while we are here. And I can turn that around and add the stars. And then we're going to do the rest of the stuff I said we are going to do. I'm looking to see whether that looks straight. Looks straight to me. And the stars are going to be in the same color. But we're going to do something different with them. I'm going to use that same brush. Load, load, load. Offload, offload, offload. I want to add a little sparkle in those stars. Like I said, we're going to add a little bit of gold. We might add a little bit of rich espresso. Like I said, I wanted this to have that rustic look. We've got plenty of time. I'll say that and then I'll go over. What you have to eat, Miss Sherry and Miss Donna, or Miss Bonnie? I had a bagel for lunch and my hubby made himself some shrimp. You know, when I say he made himself some shrimp, I kind of helped him make some shrimp. You guys know that he's not really allowed to cook. want to see if that is, yeah, I think that's good enough. All right, this is what we have. It looks good just the way it is, but we're going to do some stuff. I'm going to do some stuff. I'm going to add things. I am going to put a little bit of paint in here. We don't need much. Got a little bit of paint. And this is baking soda. Left my spoon downstairs, so I'm just going to use this. I'm just creating a paste. And that's a little bit too much, so I'm going to add a little bit more paint. And you guys see what it looks like? It's thick. I'm going to take our palette knife and we're just going to add, not put too much on there. We're going to add a little bit of texture on here. I'm going to make it look like our flag is waving in the wind. You just have to be careful that we don't go into our white. And you can use any palette knife that you have. The plastic, the metal, whichever one works best for you. And if we have to make a little bit more, we can make some more. I didn't know how much we would need, so I didn't make too much because I didn't want to have a ton left over. And you don't need to have it everywhere. You're just adding interest. And I'm only doing it on the red. I am not doing it on the white or the cream. And I will hold this up in just a moment so you guys can see. to get some more here in a minute. Make another batch. Sometimes you just merely have to reload. It's like buttering your bread. Don't stick your finger in it. Now that I've done that. I'm still getting some out of here. I might have actually enough. I will check comments in a minute. They are not refreshing, so I have to refresh them. So bear with me, ladies. I have to mix just a little bit more. Ooh, Thai noodles, chicken and broccoli. Just eating dry cereal. I do that too sometimes. I sometimes actually have cereal for supper. Sometimes I put a little bit of milk in it. Sometimes I put bananas in my cereal. And see, I am just mixing it in my little cup. The consistency is up to you. I just want it like a paste, so that's what I do. Almost like toothpaste. And of course I will spray seal this because I cannot obviously put brush on sealer on this. And I use the Rust-Oleum Matte 2 times. In the can. And that works really good. I need just a little bit more for that one little spot right here. Feel like I was doing speckling. Speckling a wall. Seen a spot right here. I wanted a little bit more on. I think that's good. See if you guys can see that. Does that show up I have to hold it and wait for a second because there's a big delay. Hoping you guys can see that. Oh yeah, it is showing up. And you can probably see that it is a little raised. Let me close this up before I make a mess. And that was just regular baking soda. I cleaned my brush off. I am going to add a little bit of the Venetian gold, but I'm thinking, okay, let me show you my thought process. I've got these. And they fit perfectly on the size star. So I was thinking about putting those on there. And then use a little bit of gold in between. And maybe add a little bit of the rich espresso in there to, you know, make it a little dark and grungy looking. The other thought, I've got some of these little primitive stars. You would have to paint these, of course. And you could add the little primitive stars instead of the metal stars. I like the metal ones. But you guys tell me what you think. I was going to do the metal ones on here and add some gold in here and maybe a little bit of that rich espresso. What do you think about the gold? I mean, the bronze, the barn stars. I am going to lay the stencil back on and I am just going to put the gold over top. I am just going to use that same brush. It's not going to work too good. I'm just going to lightly color these in and then I'm going to get a new brush and do the gold. have lots and lots of brushes to wash tonight. Don't want them solid gold. Remember, this is supposed to be a little bit rustic looking. I'm going to take a peek in a moment to see what we got. I think that looks good. I'm going to add the gold around the edge. And then I will add a little bit of dry brush gold in between. Should we add the barn stars, the metal stars, or not? I was afraid of that. I stuck my hand in it and then touched the white. That is not advised. Don't do that. I'll fix that here in a moment. Just scraping it off with my palette knife. And it's fixed. Thank you. It does take several coats, but I didn't want full coverage. I wanted like a twinkle. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm just dirtying it up. I said I wanted that aged look. Like it's been around for a while. I hope it shows through on the camera. And we got our raised parts. And then the stars is not full coverage. What do you guys think? With the gold in here. The gold in the brown. Thank you for the hearts and the thumbs up. Now, would you add these or leave them off? Now that the gold is on there, would you add the metal stars? And once this is completely dry right here, I can go across it with my brush. No, it's not dry yet. And add gold over top. But it is not dry yet. I am not going to keep you guys because I've got to add a little bit of I'm going to add a little bit of cardboard underneath so that they will hold. I normally just take a piece of cardboard, cut it, and then glue it down. I am not going to keep you to do that, but I will add the stars. And then once this is dry, I'm going to add gold over top of all of our peaks right there. All right, ladies, I appreciate you guys hopping on this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, this is what our little project, oops, you can't see it. And this is what our little project looked like. Can't hold it up without the stars falling. And I think I might even, once I clean my brush out, go over the white here and dirty it up a little bit. So it doesn't look so white. My brush had a little bit of the red on there, a little bit of the yeah, I like that better. Now it blends in. It doesn't look so bright now. I added a little bit of the red and gold into our welcome. Right, ladies, let's read our blessing. It is out of Psalms 34:4, and it says, I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Faith over fear. Do not let fears get a hold of you. Tell the Lord to take them from you. Inhale confidence. Exhale doubt. Inhale confidence. Exhale doubt. If you want to be part of our Soul-Filled Saturdays, we are going through some really good lessons, and it will help you on your walk with Christ, but it also will help you to find out who you are. And I encourage you to come join us on Saturdays at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we have a wonderful time together in our little faith-filled group. You guys be blessed. Have a wonderful evening, and hop over to Essential Stencil. And if you need anything, have any questions, please put them in the comments. And if you have any prayer requests, just let me know. I'll gladly pray for you. Thank you guys so much. Have a blessed evening. Enjoy Essential Stencil, and I will see you on Thursday. Have a blessed rest of the week. Uh-oh, what did my phone do?